The sights on it are just factory, which is pretty lame. The magazine release button here is a lot chunkier than on my last Glock, and I really like that.
The slide release is ambidextrous on both sides. The safety is ambidextrous on both sides.
The Nintendo Zapper Ruger LCP, my Wolverine LCP2.
This is a variant of the gun that John Wick used in John Wick 1. He used a P30L, so it's a little bit longer.
But you can see the 38 Special along the top, and it looks like it did almost as much damage as the 38 Special, even though the bullet's only about half the size.
Shoot her! Yes! For science.
Oh! Okay, so for a lot of you, this is going to be your first time viewing this property. This is a property I bought specifically for a training area. It's 25 to 35 minutes outside of Klamath Falls, depending on where in Klamath Falls you live. It's 3 acres. There's no water or electricity or anything out here yet. I'm debating about whether to go solar power, a generator, or if we even need electricity out here. All that will be determined once I start using the property for what I want to use it for, and what the needs are after that. So anyway, what you see here is the top acre. It's 3 acres. The other 2 acres are over that ridge over there, and we'll explore that here in just a minute. But this is where I'm going to be building an airsoft field. And this structure just got put up today, which I'm very excited about. And I'll give you a closer look at that here in just a minute. We've got this nice gravel road here, which will give us tons of room for parallel parking right here, because as you can see, it's wide enough that our cars can get by with no problem. The main road is up there, so most people aren't even going to be able to see what we're doing from here, which is nice. This is where the property line ends, right there by that fence over there. So let's go check it out. This is a 50 by 50 covered area that I installed so that we can sword fight when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's snowing, whatever. These little spots here, the beams on this side are 7 feet. Over here, these are 10. So in this area here, there's plenty of room for heavy fighting without having to worry about hitting the ceiling, unless you're about 6'5". So we can do heavy fighting on both sides of this thing. And in the middle, for those of you that do it, we can do longsword fighting, because the ceiling is very high here. I don't know, I'm almost thinking that I could have put a basketball court in here, it's so high, but maybe not. Anyway, it's plenty big for our purposes. So my plan was to have, basically one of these tiers here for heavy. This thing is 50 by 50, so we've probably got enough room to have 2 pairs of heavy guys going at it at the same time. Same thing with the other side, and of course if we don't have that many fighters, then we can have one of these set up as a spectator area, so that you're either shaded or not getting rained on or snowed on or whatever the case may be. And in the middle here, we could do a pair of longsword guys, or maybe even 3 sets of 3 pairs of rapier or a smaller sword of some kind. So we've got tons of space here. I'm also going to be putting obstacles in here that are going to be easily movable, so that this can be a mini airsoft arena when the situation calls for it. Now I built this specifically with an A-frame, as you can see here, so that if funding allows, I can extend it in this direction and make this building even bigger. At this point, I'm out of money to pour into this thing. The land cost me $20K. This structure cost me another $20K. That's all the money I got. So everything else is going to be free. My in-laws run a business, and I'm able to get all the wooden pallets from them that I want. So pretty much everything else on this property is going to be built with wooden pallets, including all the obstacles for the Airsoft arena, which is going to take place through here. As you can see, it's not heavily wooded, but once I get some cover set up in here, this is going to be perfect. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, let's check out what we got going on the other 2 acres. I'm also planning on using pallets to build a shooting hut down here on the far edge of the property, and I'll show you where that's going to go here very shortly. So here's a look at it. It kind of just falls over the side, but that gives us a perfect backdrop for shooting. So, I don't know, a lot of people would probably think that this land is worthless, but I love it because it does everything that I want it to do. And in addition to that, we have this gorgeous view. It's so nice and quiet out here. Anyway, let's keep going. Hello? Hello? One moment. Alrighty, back to the video. A couple of my new neighbors just stopped by to say hi, and wondering what the hell was this building for? So that took a little bit of explaining. Anyway, so here's the building, and then we're going to go over the ridge down here, and I'll show you the rest of the property. It's a pretty steep incline, and if I'm going to expand the airsoft field past this upper section, I'm probably going to need to build some extra walkways or a staircase or something to get from Tier 1 down to Tier 2, because it's a bit of a, as you can see from the terrain here, it's pretty rocky and a bit of a pain to get down here. But that's going to be very helpful for shooting, because as you can see, I'm just barely over the ridge here, and we've already got a really nice backdrop, and we haven't even gone to the bottom yet. There's one more thing about this property that I just think is absolutely perfect. Another thing I really like about it is this. Sadly, a lot of this stuff is going to need to get cut down for the range, but I am going to leave some of it up just because I think it looks awesome. And this area in here, in particular, would be really cool for a photo shoot with Lara Croft or Indiana Jones or Resident Evil characters or whatever. Oh, but look at that. I mean, that looks really cool. And I also like the look of the scraggly trees. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like that, but I do. I think they look cool. Anyway, let's keep it going. But right now, playing airsoft down here is probably out of the question. But until we get, 40 players or so, it's probably not even going to be an issue. Because that area up top is plenty big. I used to play airsoft in Hillsboro, where we had a 10,000 square foot arena, and you could fit 60 guys in there. Well, that area up top there is at least 20,000 square feet. So, do the math. Anyway, here's the rest of the property. As you can see, once you've made the original climb down, basically it's this second tier that is really, really steep. And here's the the fence line. So we'll keep going down this way. The property down here is just gigantic. The neighbor that I just spoke with, Wayne, he's telling me that I got ripped off. I guess him and his wife bought the place next door for about 15. But I don't know. I paid 20 for this place, and I think it's a bargain just because it just so wonderfully fits my needs. Everything I could have wanted from a piece of property, this place has got it. It's got the backdrop for the shooting range. It's got the nice flat area up on top for the airsoft field. I mean, I can pretty much do everything that I want to do on this property. I'm going to put a John Wick shooting course down here. And I will be posting updates on that periodically. It's going to take me some time to build it. I'm almost thinking about maybe starting a donation type thing for this. I know a lot of YouTubers do Patreon and Subscribestar and all that nonsense. But honestly, I'm just going to put my PayPal address on here. And for those of you that want to contribute, you can. But I would love to extend that building a little bit further, which is probably going to be another $10,000. And then, of course, this is where the John Wick shooting course is going to be. I don't know if you can see it or not down there, but basically this pole, a little bit past that pole, is where the property line ends. So I've got that all the way through here over to there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little shooting hut right in this area that I'm standing in, because it's nice and clear, so you guys can see. Build a little shooting hut right here, and then I'm going to need to take out all of these trees. Not all of them, but just the ones that are in this immediate area. And then I'm going to set up some targets. And my plan is to basically just make it look like the one that's at Terran Tactical, but a little bit smaller. So, honestly, it might be better to build it right here, because there's fewer trees. So we could have some targets up that way, and a couple targets over there. Now, for my friends from my new church that are watching this video, Gary, I know you said you like to shoot a handgun at 25 yards. Not quite sure that it's 25 yards from here all the way to the top. And honestly, there is no room for shooting rifles here, unless we want to go that way off the property line. Now, I suppose we could do that, but I'd really rather keep all the activity here in-house just for liability purposes. So the best I'm going to be able to do is to take some 3-inch AR-500 targets and put them right along that ridge right there. So for people that want to shoot long distance, it'll just be a really tiny target to shoot at, which I guess is equivalent to shooting one that's twice as big from twice as far. But that's the best I'm going to be able to offer for you gentlemen out here. But it'll be something. Anyway, let's move right along here. This is a pretty nice spot right here, though. I think I can get rid of some of these rocks in here, clean this up a little bit, and really make a good shooting course right through this area. Probably just going to take all the rocks and chuck them on the other side of the fence, because I would imagine that nobody is going to buy this property down here. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there is power right here, so you'd be able to get power, and then you have to dig a well and a septic, but the ground down there is a little bit flatter, so who knows, maybe somebody will buy it. The neighbors were telling me that there's a weed dealer right next door, so I can't say I'm horribly thrilled about that. In fact, they wanted to talk to me because they wanted to see what kind of guy I was, if I was just going to be peddling more of the same crap or be a problem for them or whatever. So I was just 100% honest with what we're going to be doing with this property, and they seemed to think that was pretty cool. It's also good for them because, you know, all noise will take place in the middle of the day. They're not going to have to worry about any kind of shady activity, and the rest of the time it's going to be absolutely quiet because there won't be anybody here. So here's the property line right here, and it goes down that way, and then of course this goes all the way back up to the top, back up there where we originally were. Now here's the huge rock ridge that's in Tier 2. Down there is where we just were. So you can see from this angle that getting between Tiers 1 and 2 is a huge pain. You've got the way I came in over there by that fence, and then you can also go up this way by the other fence. But if you're talking about airsoft and stuff, you don't want to be, you know, picking around with footing and all that nonsense. You need to... Oh! Point being, I almost fell right there. But, you know, you need to be moving quickly. And this ain't going to do it. So, yeah, I just climbed that. So, yeah, that's going to need to be fixed somehow. I don't know whether I'm going to be clearing out the rocks and putting a staircase in there, or maybe I can just get rid of some of the nastier rocks and put some more in to get some kind of decent footing in that area. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do. But if we want to use this second tier for airsoft, that's going to have to be fixed somehow. Anyway, let's head back up to the top here. Now, the people who had this land before me didn't finish the fence. I am considering finishing it, but this is what's next door to me, and this is a really steep incline that goes all the way to the top. There is no flat area like mine has. So I honestly don't see anybody buying this. So there's not really a whole lot of incentive to finish this fence. They've already got all the wiring here that goes to the top. In fact, you can see that one right there. And I'll be walking by here in just a minute. This area looks a little suspicious. Maybe somebody was using this as a fire pit or something. Anyway, the neighbors didn't seem to think that I'd have too much trouble with hoodlums moving in here or anything. And they're clearly keeping a very sharp eye on this property. In fact, Wayne, the fellow that I spoke with, had already called the county to see who had bought this property, because he was that concerned about some kind of ruffian moving in next door. So if I have a neighbor that's that vigilant, if we get some hoodlums moving in over here, he will call me right away, I'm sure. I did give him my phone number. So anyway, we're back up here to the top now. There's my car up there. And then there's the building. So we basically just made one large circle all the way around the property. But I can't begin to tell you how perfect this area is, what we're going to be doing. And once the John Wick course has been set up, we're going to be able to make a lot of cool videos just from that. Because I'm going to shoot them just the way they do at Terran Tactical, with the timer and the double taps and all that good stuff. That's all going to be on this channel eventually. And then of course we're going to have sword fighting, which I can also film, although there's plenty of that on this channel already. And I'm also hoping that we can get some airsoft matches on video. My wife isn't interested in airsoft, but she has agreed to wear a helmet and put body armor on and run around and film everybody else shooting each other. She wants a pink armor set, so she'll stick out like a sore thumb and nobody will shoot her that way. Boy, I'm loving this thing. It is like, it's almost 90 degrees out today, and just under the covered area in here, it's like 10 degrees cooler, which is really nice. Now I'm going to need to get rid of all those bushes, obviously, and get the ground evened out a little bit. So I'm going to be digging up all this over here, putting concrete here, and my plan is to just put concrete over every single one of these. Not a lot, but some, for stability. Maybe just a few inches down or something. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. I'm planning on putting a lot of work into this property over the next few months. So stay tuned for that. And then of course the shooting course down at the bottom. One thing about the shooting course, I've already looked into getting the targets like they have at Terran Tactical. Those targets run about $100 a piece, and I'm probably going to need at least 10 of them to get the shooting course going. So that's $1,000. So if anybody wants to donate, I'll put my wife's PayPal account on here. You can send it as friends and family. And any money that you guys want to send us is going to go directly towards this property and future awesome videos. So anyway, that being said, I'm going to sign off for now, and look forward to bringing you some very cool content involving this property in the future. Thanks for watching.